Hi, Dan Lyle here, the owner and founder of LylePublishing.com. And I'd like to briefly tell you how I might help you with the difficult, big problem of effective teaching by clarifying your aim. Now, often in congregations of believers, religious teachings seem to be very ineffective. How so? Well, if people go away from a sermon and just a few hours later can't even recall what it was about, how is that effective? If people sit in a lecture class on a Bible or other holy text passage, and a few hours later can't recall any of the details, how is that effective? Perhaps it isn't effective. Perhaps it's a waste of time, both for the deliverer and the listeners. Unless, of course, improving people's lives or helping them to move closer to God was not the true aim at all. Perhaps the true point of it all was just to mindlessly plod through a traditional ritual or ceremony and be able to say, I did it. I don't recall any of what we did. It really had no effect or impact on me at all. But I was there, and I did it. Actually, if that is the aim, it's okay. So-called teaching can be just a ritual, a ceremony, or a tradition. However, since a lot of effort is usually put into its preparation or its experience, would it not be nice if it could also be more than just a ritual, a ceremony, or a tradition? Wouldn't it be nice, for instance, if religious teachings could actually significantly and quantifiably improve the recipient's lives and help them to move closer to God? You know, the easiest thing in the world is to stand up, open your mouth, and let hot air come out. Just like I'm doing now. This is easy. What has actually been accomplished? Nothing. Nothing other than vibrating air. But for these words to actually have an effect, the recipients of those vibrations, such as you right now, would have to do two things. You would have to remember what I said, and you would have to do the words. In other words, have it actually impact your life. And that's what I'm after right now with you. That's my real aim. And that's why I put a huge amount of effort into making my talks effective. My little videos that you're listening to right now. Now, consider this. For those of us who are Christians, Jesus was famous for not just standing up and giving some lectures, but for the recipients remembering what he said and then putting his words into action. How did he do this? How did he achieve such effective talks? Well, Jesus, as described in New Testament scriptures, used a number of very powerful, specific techniques for burning his words into people's minds, and for persuading them to then implement those teachings in their actual lives. Now, let me suggest a radical idea for us Christians today, and even religious people in general, that it's not only critical to believe what Jesus said, but actually also to do as Jesus did, as he gave examples and then told his followers to do likewise. Now, if Jesus' followers today, and even followers of other religions towards their founders, were to follow not just Jesus' words, but also emulate his actions, how he did things, then our teachings in our modern day societies might be much more effective. Creative theology is not just about teaching profound principles and methods for helping us move ever closer to God. It's about effective teaching, which really accomplishes its purpose in quantifiably data-supported ways. For instance, in my book, Creative Theology, I take you step by step through good acceptable means for institutionalizing, either in your own life or in the organization of which you're a part, specific good techniques and procedures for giving all of your teaching the biggest bang for the buck. In other words, for the same effort, say, to put together and deliver one sermon or lecture, would you like to have a relative, quantifiable response of 1, 10, 100, or 1,000? My book can help you move from a relative response of 1 to 1,000. A threefold increase in effectiveness. For the actual details of implementing creative theology type effective teaching, they are contained in my better than 500-page, comprehensive and very easily readable book called In Search of Quality: Principles and Mechanisms. And I have a large section that's devoted entirely to the topic of effective teaching, plus how to institutionalize it throughout the congregation, not just with the preacher, not just with the Bible class teacher, but everyone, by doing what I claim Jesus did, gave us the example, and told us to do likewise. And this claim is further substantiated and demonstrated in my book, The Real Jesus, which is made much more urgent by my claim that Jesus would be unhappy with how his followers teach his teachings in the modern day world. He was not about ineffective teaching. He was about effective teaching. And this is really underlined also in another of my books, the Jesus Lectures 8, Making Your Life Significant to have the greatest impact, the biggest bang for the buck. Now, if you are already perfect, and you're operating right now at your most effective teaching level, and it's impossible to improve on how you teach, and you are already getting the highest level of response that you want, then God bless you. Congratulations. However, if you'd like for your teachings to be even more effective than they are now, then I encourage you to spend a little bit of money and a little bit of time to get and go through my books. I believe you will find things there that you have never seen or heard before that could be very helpful to you, and that you might find quite acceptable for dramatically improving the effectiveness of your teaching. So, if you have some interest in what I'm telling you, then I invite you to take a look at other free short videos that I've made, in which I actually very quickly take you through a tour of the contents of each of the books that I mentioned here. And links to those short videos are right above the pictures of the e-covers of my e-books located on my home webpage at lylepublishing.com. And then, if you're interested in pursuing the details, my books are available for purchase for a mere $10 each to pop up right into your computer, ready for your immediate use. And should you need or want direct consultation from me for a reasonable negotiated fee, I may be available to work with you either by continuing email, video conferencing, or in person. And also for free, you are welcome to send me an email, a query type email describing your situation, and as soon as I'm able, I'll be happy to send back helpful feedback. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, either now or in the future, please feel free to directly email me at danlyle@lylepublishing.com. I look forward to hearing from you if you wish, and I thank you for viewing my Using Godly Techniques for Making Your Teachings Even More Effective Creative Theology video.